Coach. If you could just talk a little bit about the last games of the season, hitting the road, playing South Dakota State this weekend.
Well, I'll talk about this game of the season. We play South Dakota State, and got to go on the road and prepare for a really well-coached, good football team.
This is a team that's offense was like ranked near the top in the FCS earlier in the season. Just talk a little bit about their offense and what you guys need to do defensively to kind of shut them down.
Very explosive offense. The quarterback's really a good quarterback. Good run thrower. Offensive line, they have a couple of new buys, but as the season goes on, they're well coached. Their tight end is kind of funny because they had that great tight end and went to the NFL, and they got another really good tight end that's backing them up, and they got two good receivers. And then they're like us, they have about three tailbacks that are all sharing the wealth, so there's no like big splash tailback. But if you add them all up, they got a really good running game.
Is it like a run pass option kind of offense, or is it more like a North Dakota State where they just kind of go ground attack?
They have their own identity, but they do RPOs without question. The quarterback, the thing that's great about the quarterback is doing a really good job of protecting the football. So they're +8 in turnover margin right now, so that's been a big advantage to them.
I was going to say a challenge for your defense because that's one thing you're trying to do.
Absolutely. We haven't got a turnover in about 3 or 4 weeks, so we have to do a really good job of getting some takeaways.
After Saturday's game, you talked about trying to get teams into third and longer than you have been. Does that start with more pressure on the quarterback? Is it stopping the run on first down? What is it that you can do to make that happen?
It has to be fundamentally sound and gap sound. We have to be assignment cautious, and we have to be have gap integrity, and then we got to tackle them. We were making some tackles, not tackles, but we tackled them. But the butt part is they got to yak after that. Dragons for 3 or 4 or 5 yards. So we have to get into those third and long situations, and you get to go pin your ears back and come after and stuff.
Last couple of weeks, have you noticed anything like trend on film the past few weeks defensively? Something that you don't like, or something you think you can do better?
I don't like our fundamentals. Sometimes I don't like our execution, but it's always going to come back down to fundamentals. I don't like our gap integrity, and then we were doing really well until last Saturday. We gave up too many missed tackles last Saturday, which is a fundamental. Tackling is a fundamental. So we have gap integrity, and you execute, and then you tackle. Great things start to happen.
Were there some positives to take away offensively from the way that Peyton and the offensive unit kept battling even after the 28-point swing to keep trying to keep the team in the game?
Yeah, there was a lot of things that were positive. Even though we gave up a lot of yards, they gave up a lot of yards. You take away those 2 turnovers, which you can't. That's the whole deciding factor of the game is we gave up 2 turnovers. That one was points, okay, and the other one, don't quote me, I think they got the ball on the 12 or 14-yard line on the fumble, the batted pass, 18-yard line I think it was. They didn't have very far to go. Now when those things happen, when the second one happens, it's very critical to hold them to 3 points because they're already in field goal range and not give up a touchdown. Other than that, it's a 35-35 game. Whereas the negative is not getting turnovers. What's very depressing to me and like I said, I think we went 3 or 4 weeks without getting a turnover. So there's a lot of positives. They did a great job. They did a great job of shutting down the run. So the offense did a great job going to the pass and had great pass route designs. And Peyton did a great job of throwing over 400 some yards. So when they take away one, you got to be able to come back to the other one, and that's what they did and executed very well.
Coach, you talk about how they were kind of focused on the run. Obviously, a lot of the weight from Saturday was focused on Donovan Daniels. Can you talk about coming in here as a transfer, as a sophomore coming out of Phoenix, what he's brought to the team and how much it's been great to have him here as a part of it?
Oh, first of all, it's phenomenal for him to be here. The one thing I'm getting used to at this level of football, players come and go quickly and retire quickly and move on quickly. And Donovan was a late get and a great get. And he brings this like workman's attitude. Doesn't talk a whole lot, but comes to work every single day, works very hard on his fundamentals. And the other thing is he hangs on every word that Coach Fig tells him so he can get better. And you see his production and his energy and his knowledge of the offense is getting better and better every week.
St. Louis area kid, how key is it to make sure that you can get some of these recruits out of St. Louis to come down here?
It's always going to be important to get someone anywhere from the state. St. Louis is a great place. Manure Prince does a fantastic job of recruiting St. Louis, and You know, with in Donovan's case, he just had to come by way of Arizona.
Good.
Well, Coach, a month ago, you guys 3-1, ranked 24th.
Month ago.
A month ago, you guys were ranked 24th in the country. It seemed like the program was turning around. Your thoughts on that right
The
now?
program is turning around. Do you know what I inherited here?
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying, any discouragement, any frustrations in the last?
No, our kids are focused. They're working hard. You know, after every game, there's discouragement. We go by the 24-hour rule, and I'm never going to deviate from that. And now it's time to move on to South Dakota State. So, you know, we win some. What was that movie? We win some, you lose some. Sometimes it rains. Baseball, you got to play in the rain. In football, I guess, but it's time to move on.
And you're talking about just fundamentals, tackling, gap integrity, that kind of turnovers, things that can be corrected, things that aren't, that you need to kind of do week to week then?
Absolutely. Football is a very easy game to play. Coach. It's a hard game to play, and you have to do all those things, and it's always going to be that. In the history of football, it's going to come down to fundamentals, then schemes, and then execution, and that's what football is. So we have to do a better job of working on our fundamentals. We got to do a better job of making sure our X's and O's are correct, and then we have to go out and execute.
And this is a tough conference. I mean, this is one of the top conference in the country.
Conference. I told you guys the week before how good Western Illinois was, and they went over and just, I don't know where they played, to be quite frankly, but Western Illinois just went and beat Northern Iowa, who just had a big win to the top 25. This is a great conference. So you have to come ready to play every single week, and every week someone could beat us and we could beat them.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Scott, just talk a little bit about those two home games that you had, a couple of disappointing finishes, and then as you kind of try to move forward and you're going into the teeth of the conference.
Yeah, it's not the result we wanted. Nobody wanted those results. But the thing is we're over those games now, and nothing we can do about it. We're going to keep going back to work and improving our fundamentals. And yeah, you're right. We are in the teeth of the conference, and we got great opportunities coming up. Right now, we're focused on this team that we got coming up, South Dakota State, and we're going to do our best to get the job done.
Is it frustrating out there when you kind of take a step forward and then have a couple of losses, then when you think this whole thing's moving the right way?
I still think it's moving in the right way. Obviously, the results aren't there, but as if you look at this program, early on when I got here, and as to now, the mood is different. Even with the previous performance we put up, it's not anywhere near what it has been in the past after losing. Like, guys are very disappointed. We're all upset. We want to do better. We know we can do better. We know we're a talented football team, and we just have to bring it together again, like we had early on in this year. And there's no reason we can't do it.
What are you looking at from South Dakota State? I mean, on the defensive side, they run the ball, but they can throw the ball as well. How balanced are they?
Oh, that quarterback back there is fantastic. He's the guy that makes a whole offensive run. He can gun it, and he can run as well. He's a really good athlete, and they got a really good wide receiver, number 16. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he had a great game last week. But their defense is also keeping them rolling too, not just their offense. But I think they had 4 or 5 takeaways last week against Illinois State, which is, if you're going to beat a team like that, that's huge. So we have a very, very good opponent coming in this week, and on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be a very good game and a very great opportunity for this program.
I think they had 2 turnovers. They turned into touchdowns for their win last time. And for you guys, Coach keeps talking about trying to get the ball away. Defensively, when you're trying to tackle, you're trying to stop them, you're trying to get the ball out. How difficult is it to get one thing done without getting the other one done?
I mean, we always preach takeaways. It's hard to win football games when you lose a takeover margin. It's a big point in the game, and getting your offensive ball and keeping us off the field. We will change that. We have to change that, and it's frustrating, but at the same time, it makes you hungry to go after the ball even more. And I think we're pursuing the ball more as a defense.
So do you change maybe the strategy a little bit, or do you just go through what you're normally doing on defense, wrapping up and tackling, and just hoping those takeaways come naturally?
Yeah, I trust the coaches to put in a great game plan, and we're going to do what we're coached to do and work with our fundamentals and always preach to get after the ball.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Same question, kind of the last couple of games. You had a 2-game homestand, hoping you have better outcome from that. Just talk a little bit about the frustration from you guys and what you need to do to kind of turn the focus and get the enthusiasm
Well, the
back.
focus every week is on the offensive side we got to attack one play every day, and has been frustrated, but we're not going to get down. We come into practice, we come into film every day with the same mentality that we're just going to come in, learn the game plan from the coaches. We trust in them, they trust in us, and we believe that whoever we're going up against, we're going to get the job done.
You've been around here a little bit. You know this is a tough conference. You got number 7 coming up, then number 1 after that, then number 13 after that. Just finishing against the teeth of this conference.
You know, it's a great conference, Missouri Valley. You know, coming in, I had no idea as a bright-eyed freshman, and then now, you know, it's probably the toughest conference in FCS, and you know that's just the beauty of it, playing football at the top level here. You know, and so you know, coming in, attacking, just like I said before, you know, coming in every day to practice, every day to film with the same mindset that we're going to attack one day, one play every day.
You guys are going to go up there underdogs. You like that role and go to their place?
It suits us. We never had respect in this conference before, and you know, we like it. You know, we're going to go up there. We're going to do the best of our ability to go up there and attack.
Talking about attacking, talk about Donovan running behind you. These freshmen, you got a bunch of different tailbacks, but he's really kind of stepped up.
Yeah, DD, Donovan Daniels. Yeah, you know, he's my boy. You know, he's really stepped in. He's just one of those guys that comes to work every day. He doesn't say much or anything, but he just lets his pads do the talking. You know, and he's one of those guys that you want running behind you between the tackles every day, every play.
I was going to say, it seems like he always gets 3 or 4 yards every time.
Every time. All he has to do is just stand over and go down, you know. No, he lets his pads do the talking, the way he runs the ball and everything so smoothly, you know, just the way he just runs through people, you know. It's really cool to watch on film.
Coach was saying, Coach said the same thing, saying he doesn't talk much, he kind of just goes out there and plays. I'm surprised to hear that that's the same way, even with the coaches not around, when he's just with the guys, he's that same way?
You know, that's just the way he is, you know. He's kind of those quiet guys, but, you know, whenever he says something, you always perk your ears up, you know what I'm saying? Because he always, whenever he has something to say, you know, you just got to listen to him. And, you know, he's a mature guy, even for his age, you know. And, you know, he's just one of those guys that you want behind in the alleyway if something ever goes wrong. You know, he's just one of those guys.
There's been some injuries with some of the tailbacks, but he's been kind of steady the whole time.
Yeah,
you gotta like that, right?
Oh yeah, no. Whoever we have back there running behind us, you know, we're gonna put the faith in them to hold on to that ball and just keep running through those tackles.
You good?
Thank you, sir.